I think there are many lies about monetization.
Everybody's mind will go far. Oh my gosh.
Be clear in your first email about on which side you're going to be. The lie is that Instagram and TikTok are the ones to go for.
Welcome to another episode of Monetized. Today we have a very special guest in here, Sara. She has over 300,000 followers amongst the social and already 100 million clicks on her YouTube channel. Today we talk about monetization, about AdSense, about how to make money online, about brand deals, about how brands should approach influencers, about how influencers should approach brands. So this is a full story about an amazing person who gives you the insight about monetization. Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction. It was so good.
I just want to ask you, as a YouTuber, as an Instagram creator, as an influencer by yourself, what is the biggest lie of monetization?
I think there are many lies about monetization, but probably the biggest one that I've learned through the years is that YouTube is the best platform for monetization. That's not a lie, that's the truth. The lie is that Instagram and TikTok are the ones to go for. And those are the best platforms to do paid partnerships and brand deals. But in my experience, they take a lot of time, a lot of energy, mental energy to deal with.
But don't you think that you need Instagram to shovel the followers and the people who might like you over to YouTube, or is this also a lie?
From my experience, I couldn't get anyone from Instagram, or basically anyone from Instagram, to follow me on YouTube. So I have 110,000 on Instagram. I could get 500 people to follow me on YouTube. So it doesn't convert at all. Yeah, I had to build a whole new audience on YouTube. And the same thing happened when I moved from Instagram to TikTok. So I did Instagram first, then after 2 or 3 years, TikTok. And then after 2 or 3 years again, I moved to YouTube. So now I have all three of them.
And you think that from YouTube to TikTok, does this convert, or from TikTok to YouTube?
I don't think so. I haven't seen any growth, particularly after starting YouTube, or the other way around. So no, they don't move, from my experience at least.
And do you think that in general, when you look back, setting all these things up, do you think that it would have been better to focus on one, or was it just the thrill for you to
if
try
I were
it out?
to start again, I would start with YouTube and start with it. Maybe open Instagram later on to have a secondary platform, but I wouldn't do Instagram first like I did. I think YouTube has given me so many more happy things compared to Instagram and TikTok.
Okay, I need to double click here. Happy things because of the people there, or your own dedication towards making videos, or what do you mean by that?
So on Instagram, you have to put a lot of effort. It's not only the videos that need to be very well curated because you have a short period of time to capture attention. It's also about what you have to do on a daily basis. So you have to post basically every day or every other day. And then you have to post stories constantly to keep the engagement high. That's a lot of effort every single day. You don't have breaks, and it's very easy to burn out because of that. With YouTube, you can pre-plan the content, batch the content and record it on 1 or 2 days, and then pre-plan it, post it by itself, and it works very well.
Do you think that you went into a YouTube project blindly in terms of monetization, or what was your goal actually to?
Yeah, I went blindly because I had a lot of vertical content from Instagram and TikTok that I was posting from Instagram to TikTok. And then I thought, well, I could post it on YouTube as well in the YouTube shorts. And so I started posting every single day, all the content that I already had. Okay. So I took 2 days, pre-planned every single video I had, and had content for, I think, 4 or 5 months of every single day a new video. And after doing that, I saw so many great results from it just by simply reposting the content that I already had. Yeah. And then I started to post also the long form videos. And again, I had very good results without the need of so much effort like Instagram does. And from my experience, even if you don't post for a long period of time, the videos are still doing quite good. So it's not even that you need to post constantly like TikTok and Instagram, and you get negative results if you don't do that. With YouTube, it's very free. you can treat it a lot more like a business compared to Instagram and TikTok, where you have to like work every single day. With YouTube, you can pre-plan, work like in a short period of time, do everything you need, and then pre-plan, and it will go alone without.
Okay, and back to the very first question, what do you think is like the most or the biggest surprise in terms of monetization? Do you think it would get faster? Do you think you would have to study more the algorithm? Do you think it's more like the whole operation behind it that you need to get up and running? But where do you think
it's quite easy? So that's also a thing that I like compared to, I think there is a monetization coming to Instagram now, but it's very messy and you never know like how it works and who is able to apply to that. And with TikTok, it pays nothing. With YouTube, it's very easy to achieve, I think, if you post constantly, and like especially if you do long form videos, it's quite easy to achieve it. And then, yeah, the whole process is very nice. And you have all the analytics, so you can check every single video, the RPM of every video. It's very well done.
I mean, you had the chance to like preload. You did the work actually before that, and I mean that's a nice way of like getting yourself visible on YouTube. But what do you think about people that are new to the space? I mean, they're not exactly our target group here, because people who watch Monetized, they already like in the game. They want to know the biggest like advantage that you made personally. Where do you think it's really something that it's hustling per day, or it's the algorithm, or what is it like getting you to like being monetized on a deeper level?
I think it's, so what I did was posting the content that I already had. For someone who is starting new or has started but is not seeing good results, I would say take a moment to look through the content that you are seeing right now in your homepage, and you see like the views and you can tell which one is working or not. I would suggest to analyze that content, understand what is working and what is not. And then from that, take a little bit of time, maybe 1 month, 2 months, focus on your content, try to like experience new things and experiment with your content. And then after you have like 2 or 3 videos ready, you can start posting them and continue working. So I would do the same thing that I did. So pre-plan a little bit of content and then see how it works and experiment with that. I think that's the best strategy to also be consistent, because that's a big thing with monetization. You need to have a certain amount of views in a certain amount of time to unlock it. So I would say try to pre-plan it, analyze, basically treat it as a business. So you create a strategy, a business plan, and then you start posting after you have that, not randomly posting whatever you have.
And in terms of shorts, you started with shorts first. Is this now like more favorable by the algo, or do you think it's better to start with long form and the algo discovers it out of the long form?
I guess I wouldn't do short. Maybe I would do short form as a primary content. I don't know. I've seen some people do it and they do it quite successfully and they pay quite well as well. Like it's not, oh, they don't pay nothing like TikTok. So it's a good way to do monetization, I think. But I think the long form videos are best because you don't have to post as much. So it's, again, not like Instagram or TikTok where you have to post every single day.
Cool.
You can pre-plan it, but still. Yeah, I would go for the long form.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, also, if you do the hustle for the long form, you always have the opportunity to clip it anyways, and then reuse it, repurpose it. And but like for me, the biggest learning right now, like in this very moment, is that you couldn't like shovel the people across the platforms. This is like really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one problem for sure is that Instagram doesn't allow you to put direct link to things. So every time you click on a link, you are still in Instagram. So that's a big problem. Also, you cannot link directly from a content, like it could be a video or a carousel. You cannot directly link to something else. I think they're working on it, but at the moment it's still not available. So yeah, Instagram doesn't want you to move to other platforms. It doesn't encourage that. So it makes it very hard. And I have a few people who moved to YouTube, but it's very little, yeah.
And in terms of brand deals, is it like more interesting for the brands that you have subscribers on YouTube or on like Instagram or on TikTok? What do you think?
For me, having Instagram as the biggest platform, most of the collaborations that I do are for Instagram. Yeah. I always suggest the brands to also post the same video on TikTok and YouTube, just because you already have the content, so why not? But I have a few collaborations who asked for TikTok. Every now and then I have one that is only looking for TikTok videos, but they don't pay as much as Instagram. And I had a few opportunities for YouTube, but I don't post as much as I should. So it's a bit harder to convince brand that a video is going to go well, regardless of the fact that maybe I haven't posted in 1 month or 2 months.
Okay.
But the amounts for the collaborations are a lot higher on YouTube compared to Instagram and TikTok. So since the brand deals always take a lot of time, I would suggest to go for YouTube because at least you are being paid more.
It's also interesting to also get your feedback. Are you more approached by brands themselves or more by the agencies behind the brands? Is it something that you say is in balance or?
I think half and half.
Okay.
Half between brands, direct brands, and half with agency. I think I work especially in the Italian market. There I'm approached more by the agencies.
Okay.
So it's very few times that I've been approached by the brands themselves. Well, internationally, I get approached more by the brand itself.
And is it that you have to work personally to get into some sort of list to be visible by those kind of searching tools or by the agencies? Is this cold calling you, the agencies, or the brands? Do you also do the sales on your own, or is it focus on the target group, focus on bringing up the subscriber count to the roof? Is it something that you could universally tell the people who are watching, making active sales versus really concentrating on the content and only on the content?
For me, I've always focused on the content itself, and then I was found by agencies or brands. I haven't done many cold emails to brands. I've tried a few times, but it didn't really work that well. So usually the best way is to get contacted by the brands themselves. And I always have brands coming in and asking. So it's not like I have this huge period of time where I don't have anything to do with brands and then I have to look for them. There's always someone coming in and asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I know it from our venture. We also try to reach out to thousands of creators, and it's really hard. Should the email be just a one-liner, quick question? Should it be a dedicated real format or structure that is talking, of course, about your brand, why you loved it, and also the offering? Do you think it's better to fully go in with a dedicated long form
in my opinion? Yes.
Okay.
Give as much information as possible about how what is your product and why you think it's a good product for that creator to create content about. Then give information how the collaboration is going to be structured, like how many back and forth you're going to have, how many changes you can ask for, because also that's a big criteria for me to choose, because I've had I think among all the collaborations that I've done, I have 80% that I really liked and 20% that I hated.
Okay.
And those were the companies that they were constantly asking for changes or very stuck on small details that have no value on social media. Those were the 20% that I hated. So be clear in your first email about on which side you're going to be. Are you going to be in the 80% that I like, or are you going to be the 20% that I hate and that are so difficult to work with?
Okay. So there's also a predetermination of oh my gosh, they will be gnarly on
they
things.
Will be terrible to work with.
And you already see it in the email?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, you can already tell. So give as much information as possible to let the content creator understand which kind you are. And then give details on what kind of content you want them to create. That's also a big thing. I really like when they give you briefings with ideas on how you could structure the content. It makes it very easy for me to visualize what I'm going to do and get creative and have ideas. And then 99% of the time I accept the brand deal if I can already visualize what I'm going to do with them.
And is there always already a price tag at it?
Sometimes there could be. It's not a problem for me if they don't put the price tag. Of course, with negotiation, I'm trying to be the last one to say the price, and they're going to try the same thing as well. It's not the criteria that differentiates between choosing or not choosing to do a collaboration, for me at least. The biggest problem is, are you going to be difficult to work with? And the big thing that I recommend, like I was saying before, choose the content creators well, choose someone that you really want to work with, and then let them be free to create the content. That's a big problem for me. A lot of companies are very stuck on small details, like they want to pronounce that one like brand name in a certain way, or they want you to say this certain phrase at the beginning of the video or in some point of the video. Like, let the content creator choose that, because they know the audience best, they know the platform best. That's why you're trying to work with them. So trust them.
Okay.
Please.
And in terms of pricing, what is like the new way? Where is it like shifting? Because I also hear different stories that people want, of course, like a fixed price tag for the video that you make. But what is if the video just has like 100 clicks or views? Do the brands and the agencies and everybody who wants to work with influencers like more like performance-based orientation, or is this a thing, or is nobody daring to like predict what kind of viewership you will have, because the algorithm is like switching on such a big amplitude?
Yeah, I mean, for the agency side, I would recommend for them, when they're choosing the content creator to work with, to really look at their numbers, not just the follower count. That's like one of the least important metrics to look at.
Average view count.
Average views, and not even the average, the mode. So how many views they usually get. Because if you look at the average, you can always have outliers, which are like pushing up the views. And one thing that a lot of content creators do is they put up at the top of the page, like the top 3 videos that maybe have like 1 million views.
10 years old.
Yeah, maybe. And it could even be 3 months ago, but still they're not doing that anymore. And it was like one video that worked very well. So don't look at the average, because it will lie to you. Look at how many views they normally get on their videos. And then also look at the comments. That's also a big metric to look for. And I see that majority of the brands, when they're working with me, they only ask for like the demographics. They only care about that. They don't look at that other metrics, which I think would be relevant. And I've done collaborations with brands that were not super fitting with my audience, but I mean, they wanted to work with me, so I just said yes. They didn't work that well. And for me, I mean, I don't lose that much, because it's one video among like 7 videos a week. So it doesn't really matter for me, but for the brand, it wasn't a good investment to work with me. And I mean, on my side, I do what I do, but on their side, if I was on their side, I wouldn't work with people who are not matching my target audience, or who have such, like the average views is not that great. Also, a big problem every now and then is that since they force you to do certain things, then the video doesn't perform as well. So maybe they're doing everything right. They're looking at the average views and they are like sure that it's going to work well, but then they force you into doing something different that you would normally do, and so it doesn't work.
Do brands try to like give you an affiliate and like have an extra like payout link that if you really sell something, if you are like that into the target group and sell something, is this an extra, or is this like, hey, we do the video and the payout only based on the performance that you like really create on the sales?
Yeah, I've done both.
Really?
The fixed amount regardless of the views, but also been offered increasing amounts depending on the views, and also affiliate links. So a fixed amount plus an affiliate. I don't really love the affiliate, and the biggest issue with it is that most of the times they don't give you a transparent platform to check the affiliate. They tell you, we're going to check for you and let you know like every month how much you have made. I don't like that. If you do an affiliate, be transparent with it and let the influencer actually check it. I would say like there could be so much more done with affiliate. Make it enjoyable, make it something challenging. Like that would be such a big opportunity for companies, because affiliate is a very good idea. And I have a few collaborations that I do with affiliates, and the biggest one is Amazon. They have a very good affiliate program. It doesn't pay as much as they should, but it's a good program and it's very transparent. So you can track the links and you can track how many people clicked on it, how many people purchased the actual product you recommended, or they purchased something else. Because how the Amazon affiliate partner program works is that people click on your link, and then regardless of what they buy on Amazon, you still get a little percentage. If they buy the actual thing that you can recommend, you get more. If they buy something else, it still works.
Okay.
So with that, you can track everything transparently. Many companies don't do that. And with the Amazon thing, I'm looking at it and I'm motivated to do it. With the other companies, since they're not transparent, I have no idea if it's working or not. I cannot track. Maybe I do one story where I recommend it. I don't know how many people clicked from it. I only have a certain amount from the month.
Is there a SaaS tool that like gives the power back to the
There are a
influencer
few.
that you kind of track the affiliates?
There's a few of them. There was one I was using a lot, but it was like 3 or 4 years ago, so I don't know if it's still the same one. Yeah, I think there should be a lot of them, but companies are not using them. They just tell you, we'll check for you, because it probably costs less.
And this is a big bummer of...
Yes,
Okay.
yes. I would recommend them. Like every company who wants to do affiliate, I would recommend them to invest into that, because you're going to get good results.
If you're in the more performance oriented and if you have affiliate links, you of course are motivated to like put out a content that is like fitting to the audience.
Yes.
And it really needs an understanding of the audience psychology, that what you sell is actually worth to the people you're talking to. So how do you navigate this? Did you learn a lot about your audience by just on the fly, or do they talk with you, or do you use the comments? I mean, we'll get to comments later, but how do you actually know it's a great fit?
Yeah, it's a lot of trial and error for sure, which is also why I like the affiliate program when you have transparency, because you can try different things, like do stories, do posts, like try whatever is working for you. I think my biggest learning from my experience on social media was creating a community is very important. A lot of people try to go viral and reach every single person on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. It's not needed. There are so many people. You can just create like your niche of people that you want to reach and go for that. Like you don't need to reach every single one. Going viral is like something that people, like everyone wants to do that. Why?
But you made it.
Yeah.
I saw it because when I looked at your profile, whenever I look at a creator, I directly scroll down and see, okay, 1.5 billion, 100 billion, like in your case, 100 million clicks on your channel. I say, oh my gosh, nice. And how did you do that?
You mean YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok? Which one?
Let's focus on YouTube first.
Yeah, YouTube, I have one ASMR video who has 70 million views, I think, at the moment, 74 maybe. Just one video that went viral. And it's not necessarily related to my content, so it's just one video that went viral.
Was it related to a brand?
Not really, no. It wasn't sponsored or anything. I mean, I showed many different brands, but I don't know if they actually benefited from it, because it wasn't the main point. Like it didn't matter what kind of brand of pens it was. It was just pens rolling on a table and doing like ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta.
Oh my gosh.
Just that.
Okay, so you tried to recreate it?
Yeah, many times.
With
didn't work.
With the pens again?
Yeah, I tried to recreate it many times, didn't work. But yeah, I don't know.
Okay, but sorry, I completely went down to
Virality. I had one viral video. I mean, I had a few ones, especially on Instagram. It's always the stupid videos. I had one where I had Post-it. So if you stick up the Post-it like this, it will create like a curve. But if you do it like this on like the angle, then it will not do the curve. And I got like 3-4 million views on that. Why?
But I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, because if you do it this way, then you will not like roll like this.
Okay. Interesting.
3 million views for that.
I will never do it differently.
Yeah.
So like so many good things you're telling us and the audience. Amazing. I'm already enjoying it to the fullest.
You can also put the clip. I will send you the video.
Definitely. I mean, we need to show the world how you actually roll. I mean, this is like an actual it should be the biggest hook of this podcast.
Yeah.
Hey, I need to tell you how to roll the Post-it correctly.
Yeah.
And everybody's mind will go, wow, oh my gosh.
How is and then I have more views on the video.
Oh, yes, for sure. And then, then we create the viral loop, and then we go to Amazon, we create an affiliate link, then we sell Post-its on Amazon.
Imagine
but with
if
the
that
description.
Post-it had an affiliate link to Amazon.
That's why I asked.
But you cannot do that either on YouTube or Instagram. You cannot directly link a video.
Like for shorts.
Yeah.
But Do you really post daily?
No, I don't.
Okay.
No, I don't think it's valuable. Especially now, Instagram is really pushing the carousels, and they work a lot better when you leave like 1 or 2 days afterwards for people to come in and get even more views, especially from non-followers, which can then become followers. Yeah, so I don't post every single day, but I post stories every single day. Yeah.
This sounds like pretty damn hard work.
Yeah, it's a lot of work because you have, especially with Instagram, you have to be consistent. That's how the algorithm works. You have a certain cap that you can reach every, I don't know if it's like attached to every week or every month, but you have a certain target and you need to post more and more and more to increase the cap. So you have this fixed amount of views that you get on every single video.
We switched over to Instagram now, and it's so interesting. Like on this podcast, we have like both. We have the brands, we have the startups, we have the creators, and in the end, we want to create value for anybody who's like making advertising, who wants to like bring up the follower count to a certain amount or level to be trustworthy, and in the end, to monetize and to make money out of it. And what would you say? I mean, you are, as a creator, are a brand for yourself. So it makes sense to be a brand, to post your content. But what do you think about like for like Amazon being on Instagram or like Bitpanda being on Instagram? What do you think is the value out of there? Or do you think it should be a different mechanism that like a different storytelling format that is like linked to a certain brand? What do you think brands should actually do?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few good examples like Duolingo or Ryanair or Flixbus. They have good marketing strategies, in my opinion. They reach the correct target audience, and the same way they create trust and authority for themselves. So those are good strategies. When it's just basically the brand doing advertisement on Instagram and it's just every single post looks like an ad, I wouldn't recommend it. I think it's a good idea to have a profile for the brand, but I would use it to either to give something for free or like to promote some offers, so make it valuable in that sense, or to use it for collaboration with influencers. So if you're doing a collaboration, have the post being posted on both the influencer account and the brand. And that should be it. I wouldn't do much more.
I had a big problem with like doing co-posts. Do you do that a lot, or do you see it valuable?
Of the time. Yeah, I mean, not for me, but for the brand itself, yes, because they have a lot more views on average because of that video, and people are directly connected to that channel. I know YouTube has integrated it now, very recently, but it's not working as good as it should. Maybe when the podcast will be out, it will be better. But for now, the video only appears on one of the channels, not both of them, like Instagram. I don't know why.
There's so many new things coming out, like basically every day. How do you keep track actually on that? Because I mean, this is what we want to do, like bring up new ideas of like how to actually operate. But it's really not that easy to keep track of all the things that are coming out.
Yeah, I try to follow a few pages that post information on that. One that is very good, it's Italian, it's called Not Just Analytics. I really like them, and they also have an app to track profiles and analyze profiles. That's also
we should get an affiliate from them now.
Yeah, maybe. But they're very good, and they have this app where you can analyze profiles, which is also very good for agencies. So I'm doing basically a promotion now, but it's very good. And they are the ones that actually gave me a lot of information on how the Instagram algorithm works. So it's very good. And they also have a book, I think, about that. Again, promotion.
But like if we switch to the value that we want to give to the audience, is like you have to follow at least those things to be on track, because
I would say just follow 1 or 2 profiles, not too many. I think people maybe exaggerate a little bit. They're like, I need to be updated. Yeah, I need to be updated on everything. I will follow every single influencer in that niche. There's no need for that. Just follow 1 or 2 that you think are like trustworthy, and they will probably update you on the news things. Just follow them.
I think we need to tackle AI. Do you use AI for your daily content life, or where do you see the biggest value out of this tech?
I use it very, very little. I should use it more probably. I only use ChatGPT to generate ideas and scripts.
Okay.
So I use it especially for carousels, which are going very well on Instagram now. I use them to generate the scripts. and you can adjust it to make it sound as much as possible like you, so you don't have to do too many adjustments afterwards, which is great. And then to generate ideas is also very good. So you, for example, what I did was write down all the names of all the titles of the posts that I have done in the last month. I wrote it into a file, and then I put it into ChatGPT and asked, like, generate me 50 more ideas, 100 more ideas, and then I had like whole like content plan for like 2 or 3 months. So it's very good for that, and it will give you very creative ideas. So it's great. But apart from that, I don't use anything. I should use more, especially for editing. I don't use anything for that. I edit manually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot of time.
I think the most valuable thing that you have is time. So we hear a lot that this exact like clipping and all these kind of things go a lot easier. So you haven't tried to like let Sara or Nano Banana or whatever, those kind of models.
I don't know. Maybe it's like, I don't know. I don't like this AI generated content that much.
It gives me also goosebumps, but it's also creating new rabbit holes. So like I was on YouTube and there was an old grandpa on a ship and he was cleaning a whale from his shells, and I was like looking at this and I couldn't stop it. And then all the times those kind of videos were washed into my timeline. And then I looked at the channel, and they had like 1.4 billion views in like 4 months. And I said, okay, that's a big load of money that you make by like prompting old man cleaning whale from shells. And
my algorithm is not showing me these things.
Maybe I shouldn't tell too much about my algorithm, because then people can analyze me too much. But on the one hand, it's super entertaining. I love it. It opens up a whole new world, but the internet is also flooded. But then I think like having creators like you who are like real, who are focused on like being out there, I think they are the ones who will win in the end.
Yeah, it will always be an advantage. I think the biggest thing that AI will do that will be super beneficial for content creators like me will be the immediate translation of the videos. Because my content, for example, is in Italian. If I could have immediate translation of my video with the subtitles, but also with the dubbing, maybe in the future, that would be a super, super big advantage, because then you can have the content reach every single country.
There are a lot of startups out there who are doing it. They will also come on our show. It was super interesting. And there are also a lot of people. We were at the Vid Summit in Dallas a few weeks ago, and there were AI companies who went to all the creators and tried to license the catalog. Have you been approached by some?
Not yet.
Oh, really?
Not yet. I don't know if I would do it, though.
They give you...
Like license my voice or my face? Or...
No, they basically need content that they can train their models on. So they say they're not repurposing your content. They're not like using you or your content, but it's more like training the models. And this is like a very big fight right now. I mean, who gets the biggest proprietary data is winning in the end. And it's not allowed to go on YouTube and scrape YouTube. So they need to have like permissions, because now the fines are like really, really badly. And this is another interesting monetization model that I want to personally dig into, but this is something where I want to get your 2 cents. So you would be a little bit scared of like those companies if they approach you, hey,
maybe
can we have
a
your
little
content?
bit. Yeah, especially like my image and my voice is already out there on social media. I'm already a bit afraid of that.
Okay.
I mean, my niche is very like calm and it's like not problematic at all, but you never know with people. My face could be used for many different things, even for advertisement of products that are related to my content. I could use it wrongfully. And yeah.
Have you like had problems with strikes or with people re-uploading your
Only
content?
One time, and I contacted them and they removed it. And they told me that they were working with an agency who said that they were using only content that was not copyright protected. But it was my face. And it was like just 1 second at the beginning of the video, and then it got removed. I don't know if with Instagram I could have, or Meta, I could have asked to remove the clip by them. I think they don't do it if the clip is too short, only like more than 5 seconds or something like that.
Are you also repurposing your content on Facebook? Because I've heard that they are also like really are keen to get creators back on Facebook, and they also have a new form of like paying creators. Have you tried it? Are you in?
Yeah, my content is posted on YouTube automatically, not YouTube, on Facebook automatically by Instagram, because there's like this sticker that you can check, and then the post is posted. Like both the reels, carousels are posted on YouTube, on Facebook, but also the stories are posted on Facebook as well. So since like 3 or 4 months, I think my content has been posted on Facebook, but I don't see good results. So
Okay.
It is working,
right.
but it's not working in the sense that I get traction from that. So maybe I'm not in the favorites.
Okay. I think this is also where, especially those kind of brands, that they need someone like who is like in the trenches and building follower by follower. And did it like happen overnight? Because you said that you had this viral moment on a video, but also like being out there creating content like every day. What was like the biggest like follower count increase that you saw? Is it more seasonal? Is it content related? Is it luck? Is it what is it?
It started very well from the beginning. I started like 7 years ago. I was already on Instagram with a page. Before that, it was a fan page for the singer Ariana Grande. And I had that page that like 50 or 60,000 followers, which was very big for the Italian standard at the time. But then she went on a hiatus, so she was not posting anymore, and I had to find something else. And I was making these like pretty notes for school.
Why do you do a fan page for somebody?
I liked her, and I was like, yeah, let's find other people who like her as well.
And it was like called fan page or fan made or
it was ariana.our.love. Ariana Our.
Did she actually approach you?
One time she reposted one of my posts on her Instagram, but she didn't tag me or anything.
Okay.
So it was like, oh, she noticed me, but not really.
Was this the goal, to be noticed?
Yeah, of course. Okay. I mean, every single fan page wants to be noticed by the creator, but for me, it didn't really happen. And then she disappeared for like 1 or 2 years. And then I moved on to this profile.
Okay.
I posted like pictures of my notes and I was like, should I open a new profile for this? And everyone was super happy about it. I was like getting so many likes. So I decided to open the other profile. And then with time, I still have the other one. I have this very big inactive account. But I moved to the other one. It was working a lot better. And with the fact that it was content created by me, I could start to monetize it and make it like a business. Well, before I didn't have any brand deals or anything because it was a fan page.
Sure. As a fan page, there's no way to monetize it, you think?
If you do it on YouTube, you can monetize it. If you do it only on Instagram or TikTok, maybe you can do collaborations with like stadiums or like people who are sending tickets. But apart from that, nothing really much. Yeah.
You just entered a new role as a growth manager, and you're moving like from a creator to kind of an operator, also in the creative area. What made you do that kind of step in your career? Yeah,
I've learned a lot for like what content creation is and the whole world of social media and influencers. So I wanted to do something different, to learn something new. And I think at Talentir, I've been working for 1 week only, but I think I'm already learning many things, which is very interesting to get the other side and more the agency or the business side. So that was a big reason why I wanted to join a company and do something different, but at the same time, use the knowledge that I have from working on social media for so many years. So like we talked before with the how to reach out to content creators and all of this knowledge that I have from the other side, I could use it to make it better for the content creators at the same time. So with Talentir, we're helping content creators. And also a big thing for me was that I studied marketing, and you can always find a way to market any product. But if you like the product and you would purchase it, then it's a lot easier to do marketing. And when I looked at Talentir and I looked at your product, I was like, I would buy this. So it's a lot easier to sell it.
In terms of your next steps, what do you think is the single biggest achievement you need to do or dial in to get to the next step of monetization?
It would be to become consistent with YouTube and start posting every single week. I've been doing Instagram and TikTok for a long time. For the future, I want to still have them, but do a lot less and focus more on YouTube. It has given me very, very good results with an amount of effort that I like more than Instagram, because it's a lot of effort. I'm not saying it's not, but it's more concentrated and more structured. So it's more of a business rather than a hobby. And with Instagram and TikTok, it feels like a hobby, but it's taking as much time as a business. So that's what I don't really like. With YouTube, it's a business overall.
Relationship that you can build is so much deeper on a long form, because if I follow a YouTuber, if I like watch them on a like really weekly basis, I get connected. This is like the biggest advantage I think that you have for YouTubers. And do you think that you would do everything the same when you start over again, like especially for YouTube?
Well, I think if I were to like lose everything that I have and start again, I would take a break first, because I've been doing it for so much time that I would take a break.
Take a break and then work for a startup.
Yeah. I mean, I can do both. Like I've been doing this at the same time with other things. I think content creation is something that it's very good to do on the side. It can become a full-time business, but it's also good to do it as like not your full-time job, as something more creative and more where you put your passion in and it gives you money. So it's like both of them. If I were to start from scratch, I would do probably only YouTube. I would leave Instagram and TikTok alone. With the community that you were saying, it's easier to create a community on YouTube. I've managed to create a very, very strong community on Instagram. There's so many people who have been following me for like 4 or 5 years, like very, very long time. And they really like feel close to me. So there's this very big community aspect on Instagram.
Is this what excites you?
Yeah, I really like it. It's like people, every time I need something and I need help from my community, there's so many people reaching out. Like it's very nice. This feeling of feeling close to these people, and it's a very positive and healthy community. It took a long time to build it, but it's more about how you do it. So like I'm always reading my DMs and always responding to comments and being available to people and helping them out. And I think also a big thing is that my content is very valuable. I do a lot of tutorials. I do a lot of very valuable things, and that's what is driving this community aspect. So if you want to create a community, which is my recommendation for anyone who's doing content creation, or even for agencies, you want to create a community, try to be available to people and do something that is valuable. That's the best way also to grow in followers. And so if I were to start again, I would continue with this idea of creating a community and being close to the people. So if I do it on YouTube, I would still respond to the comments and be available and respond to people. There is no DMs on YouTube, but still people are commenting a lot. So I would try to stay close to people and to share a little bit about myself to keep them closer, because I think that helps, like be personal, but at the same time, keep a little bit to myself. I've been doing it for all my social media career, and I really recommend to creators, keep a little bit of yourself for yourself and don't share every single thing. A lot of creators grow a lot by sharing everything. Yeah. I don't recommend it.
And in terms of reading comments, I've also heard different things, because Joe Rogan, for example, says never ever read comments. Of course, I mean, people anti-vaccinators or vaccinated or whatever go like rogue on the comments, but of course if you have valuable content, the comments are but
usually nicer, but not always. Okay. I've seen many negative comments on YouTube.
Okay,
there was one recently that said like, "Oh, your audio sucks," and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, I will get a new microphone." And he said, "No, it's not the microphone, it's your room that sucks." I was like, what can I do? It's my room, what can I do? It was so mean
comments. This also can like go deep if you let it. So but you read it and you try to understand, because when you say community, it's always like I thought, okay, you have to like shift them to a place where you can actually chat with them, like on Patreon or on Discord, or you say, hey,
not necessarily.
You need to keep the community where they are, and that's it. And I think this is also a very big learning from today, because I didn't like really imagine that it's not really possible
you cannot
to
move. Yeah, not really. From my experience, it doesn't move really that much. If people are using a certain platform, they don't want to move to another one because they're used to that and they don't want to. Maybe there are a few people who use both, for example, Instagram and YouTube at the same time, but most people only use one platform and that's it.
And have you ever thought about bringing in or trying to monetize your content or your audience on a different platform, like on Patreon or like somewhere where there is a paid wall for extra content? Have you ever thought about it?
I've never tried it, but for sure I would do digital content. Like if I were to start again, I would probably do a profile on like how to do presentations because I really like doing presentations like on Canva or on PowerPoint.
Okay.
So that's one thing that I could do that is again valuable because that's what I would still stick to. And for that, you can create digital tutorials or like guides. And that's a good like thing to sell. You can keep a low price, and being a digital product, your cost of production is very low, like just the time at the beginning to create it. And then it's just to provide it. So I would do that. I think that's a good way to do a monetization. I have never tried like Patreon or similar platform where you pay like a monthly fee to support the creator. Never tried it. Probably that's also like the way I am. I would feel if someone was doing something like that for me, I would feel very like I would need to do a lot for them, like to repay them for that monthly subscription. So I wouldn't do it because then I would force myself to do a lot more. I think it's good enough to do a guide or like digital products that you can sell once and then the people like you can always have people like buying it once and then share it with other people for free. Can always happen, but still it's a better way for me to monetize.
Okay, super fair enough. I think it really depends also on like the integrated target group, on like the content, everything. The niche, like everything. Yeah, for sure. As a growing YouTuber with 100 million clicks on your channel, are you approached a lot by other MCNs or by other agencies? And if yes, what do you like? What you don't like?
I've been approached a few times, yes, mostly by Italian ones. And I never said yes because the fees were so high. Like the percentages that were asking me were so high.
But what are we talking?
Like 40, 50%.
40?
40, 50%, yeah.
And this is still a thing?
Yes.
I thought...
I mean, I think the Italian system is a bit different. Hopefully it's changing, but it's very predatory to a certain extent.
What kind of value did they offer?
Brand collaboration. They would tell you, oh, we'll bring you the big brands and we'll invite you to events. But
did you try to like put it the other way around and say, hey, yeah, sure, if you bring one, then you get 40% of the brand deal that you bring?
Yeah, I mean, never try to really talk with them too much. When they said the percentages, I would like, no, thank you.
Oh my gosh, I think these times are really over where MCNs overpriced the market. I
think in Italy it's still quite common. So if any agency is watching this video now and they want to tackle the Italian market, I think there's a lot of opportunity. Because if you are transparent, if you're not as predatory as these companies are, then there are lots of creators that will be inclined.
You mentioned the transparency. This is something that you as a creator really want to have.
Yeah, provide as much information as possible so I can make my own choice. But be transparent and give me all the information, and then I will look at it and I will choose if I want to join or not. But if you are approaching me with like very few information, it's a very big possibility that I will read it. I will be like, I don't understand. Maybe they're trying to take advantage of me, and I will just not reply.
Okay. So this is like really what we wanted to achieve here in this podcast, to create value on a deep level of understanding where everybody who's listening and tries to understand how is monetization like for the creator and what can the creator bring in terms of value for my own brand. It's also monetization and making money online.
6 months from now, when my YouTube is running and it's very consistent, I can come back and talk about YouTube.
Okay, perfect. Let's do exactly that. And thank you so much for being here. A round of applause. Thank you so much. And I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I will be in the comments saying if anything was updated. I will let everybody know.
Perfect. So we keep them on an infinite loop on our platform. Perfect. Yeah. Let's do that. Amazing. Thank you so much.